Hello, my dear friends. So I wanted to review the male-female energy from the Gan Eden perspective. As you know, I've always um, discussed the problem with Adam is that Adam and Chava, is Adam didn't want to be just a receiver um, in his relationship with Hashem. Adam and Chava wanted that incredible power of being male energy as opposed to female energy is received. They wanted to create and to be givers. And we know most people like to be givers as opposed to receivers. And therefore Hashem had to take that female energy of Adam, his female side, which is more connected to receiving, and taking what we receive and make it become fruitful. If we see today, so Hashem had to take that female part of him and confront him with that, understanding that a healthy relationship has to do with giving and receiving. So even Chava, with the tree of the knowledge of Etz Hadas, wanted to get that tremendous power of being like Elohim, master of the worlds, creating worlds, and be able to be on the giver side, because the receiver side felt almost like uncomfortable, almost like of the lower status. And we see throughout history, women have been looked as or second class or as a lower level because she was received if the man was working and all that, and he's the one who provides. And we see that in Judaism we don't look, the one who receive has a tremendous responsibility and has a very high status. The woman is the one who brings the Shekhinah in the home, and her avoda, her work is to know how to receive the good and transform it into something beautiful, and that's why she has that special quality to be home and all that. But really, if we look with time, so a lot of women have with the feminist movement, they want to get that position of being a giver, more male. It's interesting today, if we look at the transgender, it's not a movement, the transgender situation, is that they're actually much more, statistically, much more women who wants to become men than men who wants to become women. So that's, I believe, is connected to that original tension, original problem. And I think it puts us a bit on trial, so to speak, that when someone gives you something, are you happy to receive? You have to look at yourself. When someone gives you a gift, are you happy, or you're annoyed and you don't want to be, oh, now that he gives me something, I owe something back, or I feel of a lower status, I feel uncomfortable of receiving something. I'd rather be on the giving end. And yes, it's beautiful to be a giver, but if we don't learn to receive, there can be no relationship. There's something beautiful about receiving, where I allow you to give. I allow to give, so and I will receiving from you. So if there's something that bothers us with receiving gift or anything, help, then that that person needs to work on the female energy, understand that there's something beautiful and as great as and as important as the one that gives. So there's a tikkun that needs to be made. We need to fix that part, and so in Judaism, it's interesting. We have also, as you know, the women of the wall, and the women who say we want to do the mitzvahs that men do. We want to put talit, and we want to put tefillin just like men do. So there's a good amount of women who think like that. But why not the opposite? How come we don't have men of the wall, so to speak, saying we want to be able to do what the women do? We want to put candles on Friday night, and we want to we want to be able to daven whenever we want. Like the women is not time bounded in their tefillot, in their mitzvot. We want to also not be time bounded, and so we want to pray whenever we want during the day, like the women. Or I want to be accepted at the men home. I want to be the one taking care of the kids. I want to be the one cooking, staying home, and she goes to work. So we don't have that. Why it's on the other side? So there's also there something where the female energy is not appreciated as much as the male energy, and the male energy is looked as greater. And it's connected obviously with Hashem, where Hashem is the greatest, and he gives. But Hashem tells us, I love to receive. You can bring me korbanos, you can bring me tefillos, you can bring me, and I will receive. And we have to understand that from our perspective, that we can do both. Hashem gives, Hashem also receives. And I have to also in me know to be balanced in that area where I love to give, but have to love to receive as much. Because otherwise, we need to love to receive from Hashem. We need to love to receive by Hashem. And I know that's where perhaps there's the challenge, and we can. There's even a concept of I believe it's tzaddikim hate gifts. Tzaddikim, the tzaddik is Yesod Olam. Is Yesod is more is giving to Malchus. He's feeding the world. So it's a very male energy. So it's they hate gifts in the sense that for them it's much more fulfilling and powerful to be giver to the world than receiving gifts from the world. So I think that needs to be reviewed in ourselves, and to fix Adam and Chava's challenge that they had in Gan Eden and eating from the tree, to try to become givers like Hashem, but understanding that if I'm just a giver and not focused on being a receiver, there's no healthy relationship possible. And in a way, when one receives, and the way one receives, and the hakaras hatov, the gratitude that one has, can create can transform the whole giving of the other person into something so beautiful, so loving, because we make the giver feel so good about it, by, wow, thank you so much, you helped me, and we can't deny that. We love to hear that, because it's the more the gratitude is great, the more the giver feels great about giving, and he wants to give more. So I believe we have to be aware of that on a higher level than in the past, and this way we can have a higher appreciation for the woman's quality and energy, and what the wife does, how important she is, and the woman themselves needs to feel how powerful their energy and role is, because otherwise the man is falling apart in his giving. He doesn't want to give anymore, and he cannot be a giver. So yeah, so that's what I wanted to share, and I hope it gives some clarity to you about the situation in Gan Eden, and yes, and that feeling of, oh no, now I owe you. People don't like to owe back, to have to give back. So that's where also I think Ahavas Chinam and the unconditional love comes, because if the receiver feels, I'm giving you without expecting anything back, and the giver feel he gives completely like that, without making the other one feel that he's expecting something back, then there'll be much more giving and receiving. And we even have that concept of that even the person doesn't want to give you one time the tool, you should not say, oh, because he didn't give me, I'm not gonna give him. We go out of that mentality, and everybody becomes a giver, and is not afraid to give, is not has no grudge of someone not giving, and it pushes people to want to give more and accept the receiving. Okay, I hope that was clear enough, and may we all become unconditional givers and appreciate the tremendous power of receiving, because ultimately this world is receiving all the time from God, and we should not feel that, oh, I owe God, I have to give God. No, it's pure love. God gives with conditional love, and all my Judaism, all my prayers and mitzvahs are not like, oh, I have to give back. And actually Hashem doesn't want us to feel that we owe Him. He wants us to want to give Him back, and to love Him back, and to appreciate the everything He gives us out of love, and we want it. We want. I mean, the first thing that Hashem told Adam and Chava is, go eat from all the trees of the garden. I want you to enjoy. I want to give you freely. I'm not expecting anything in return, but I want you to just express your gratitude and how much you enjoy, because I want to keep giving you no matter what, because I love you. And if we're able to see that, then our relationship with God, our Judaism, become just a love of the recipient, and we understand that we make Hashem feels, so to speak, Kabiachol, so good about giving, and He wants to give more. So we have a tremendous position as the female energy vis-a-vis God. Even with it's so crazy in a way that even with Hashem has those two energies too. Kudsha Brechu Ushchinte is also a male and female energy there. Sometimes Hashem is used as a father, and sometimes even as a mother, or as a as a husband, and we are the spouse. So even within Hashem, there is those two components of male female energy, and he wants us to understand that he's a giver, but he's also a receiver, and we can feel like a giver too. So we don't have to be afraid that just being a receiver from Hashem, it puts us on a lower status or anything like that, like Adam perhaps had felt. All right, I hope that gives you some interesting insight, and that we'll all be able to be balanced in our male and female energy, and appreciate the male and appreciate the female energy, and celebrate both, because they're as important, and it's not about wanting to be like the other, but it's appreciating the value and the qualities of each one. Hatzlacha.